All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar today, New and Improved AASHE Brand, where we are, where we're going, and what this means for STARS institutions. My name is Jillian Buckholz. I'm the STARS Program Coordinator, and I will be facilitating this webinar with you today. This webinar is hosted by AASHE. AASHE is a nonprofit organization that helps support people like you who are advancing sustainability in higher education. We have over 1,000 members. And we are international too, not only in the U.S. and Canada, but across the globe. We host several events like this webinar and also our national conference, which is coming up in October in Los Angeles. We also have a really informational resource center on our website that serves all of our members. So make sure you check that out if you haven't yet. Just a couple logistics about the webinar. All of the attendees are on mute. So if you do have a question, we welcome those. And you're welcome to type your questions into the question pane at any time. We will have a Q&A portion at the end of the webinar, so please hold your questions until then. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. This webinar is being recorded, so if you have technical difficulties or would like to watch the webinar video at a later time, you're welcome to do that. The PowerPoint from the presentation, as well as the webinar video, will be posted to the STARS website shortly after the live broadcast. So again, if you have questions, feel free to type them into the questions pane at any time. And with that, we'll get moving with our webinar. Chris, if you'd advance to the next slide. Just going to go over the agenda here. The purpose of this webinar really is to share with our AASHE members and STARS participants why AASHE decided to go through a branding process. Today we'll discuss this topic as well as discuss the details of the process from start to finish. AASHE started the branding process as a way to streamline communication and then decided this communication needed visual representation. We'll also discuss what's changing and what's staying the same now that AASHE has a new brand, as well as how this brand affects STARS participants moving forward. Again, we'll have ample time at the end for questions, so please feel free to submit them as we go along, and we'll answer those questions at the end. Next slide, please. This is just a look at our new visuals. You can see our visuals on the left are the old AASHE visuals, the AASHE logo and the STARS logo there. And you'll notice that our former brand did not represent our mission as well as it should have. And that's really the reason why we decided to move forward with this rebranding process. It's really been mission-driven. And then if you look at the new logos, you'll see that they actually fit really well together. And we'll dive into the details of that later. I just wanted to make sure that everyone got to see them up front in case you haven't checked out our websites yet. Can you go to the next slide, please? This is the AASHE mission, and I just wanted to share this with everyone since this project has been mission-driven. I'll just read it for everyone. The AASHE's mission is to empower higher education to lead the sustainability transformation. We do this by providing resources, professional development, and a network of support to enable institutions of higher education to model and advance sustainability in everything they do, from governance and operations to education and research. It's important that our mission is communicated through our brand, and again, this was the major goal of this rebranding process. If we could just go to the next slide. So how did we get started? Really, it was the staff beginning to discuss the development of a marketing plan. And during this discussion, it became clear that we needed to be consistent about what AASHE is, what it does, and why it does it. That's our understanding that our identity is critical to fulfilling our mission. And I'm not sure if some folks out there have read the blog that was written before the launch of the rebrand on May 23rd. Just before that, Paul Rowland had written a blog about the process. So if you go to aashe.org/blog, you can check it out there and hear everything that read everything that Paul Rowland wrote about the process before the actual launch of the brand. I should mention too that there was a discussion with the AASHE Board of Directors about the identity of AASHE and what that meant. And when everyone on the board was approached with those questions, everyone had a great idea of what AASHE was, and everyone was correct, but they didn't share the same sort of communication when talking about AASHE. So this is really what initiated the branding process, because we wanted to make sure that everyone is consistently talking about the brand to each other and making sure that we're all communicating AASHE in a consistent way. If you would just move to the next slide, please. So streamlining the communication at AASHE wasn't something we felt we could do on our own. We felt that we really needed some help from experts. So after a thorough review, we selected Tipping Gardner as our branding company based on their impressive work in both the nonprofit and for-profit arenas. Let's see here. When we were searching for an organization to work with, we actually went through doing some research on about 8 or 9 different organizations before we landed with Tipping Gardner, and we were very happy with the results that we got from them. Early in the process, Tipping Gardner did a lot of research on AASHE, how it represented itself, how it communicated, how the staff and the board understood AASHE, and how we were externally perceived. Let's see here. Oh, sorry about that. Martin Tipping, the president of Tipping Gardner, worked with the AASHE board of directors to create an identity and key strengths for AASHE. And if we actually just could move to the next slide here. These are the identity and key strengths laid out right in front of you. In the discussion between Martin Tipping of Tipping Gardner and the AASHE board of directors really resulted in this language, trying to streamline how we're communicating about AASHE inside and outside of the organization. So after these identities and key strengths were organized and developed, we shared them with our AASHE members through our member survey. We got a lot of really great positive feedback from folks. People liked this language. They thought it was an appropriate representation of AASHE, and so we've adopted them, and you can see them all here. AASHE advances sustainability. AASHE empowers higher education communities to take meaningful sustainability action. We're an acknowledged thought leader. AASHE is a preeminent, trusted, and reliable leader in higher education sustainability. We have invaluable resources. We enable higher education community to advance sustainability by creating useful and timely resources, and we serve a diverse and inspired community. We engage diverse higher education communities to interact, debate, and collaborate online and in person. If you just go to that next slide, please, Chris. So why a new logo and visual identity? AASHE defines sustainability in an inclusive way, and I wanted to outline this here so everyone could see it as well as hear me read it. But really how we define sustainability is in encompassing human and ecological health, social justice, secure livelihoods, and a better world for all generations. Simply put, our old logo did not adequately reflect this better definition of sustainability. Previously, AASHE and the STARS program didn't look like they were part of the same organization, and implementing a new visual identity system which has a stronger connection between these two is really something that's very important. If we could just go to the next slide. I just want to show everyone the visual identity again. So here you'll see what I was just talking about. In the former brand, you have the AASHE logo and the STARS logo. They're not really working very well together. There's an emphasis on green, which is only one part of sustainability by having the leaf in the AASHE logo. And as you look at the new identity, you'll find that the two logos really work together. And we're getting away from just the green, and we're also visually showing that not only is STARS a program of AASHE, but by complementing each other visually, you'll be able to, when you're thinking of one, think of the other. And that's something we weren't getting in the former brand. And I'll look at both of these different logos and how we got to where we got with them in the next couple of slides. So if you just want to go to the next slide, please. So all about the AASHE logo here. You can see the new logo on the left, of course. I'm sorry, on your right, of course. The new AASHE logo is a visual representation of the advancement of sustainability, with AASHE being the bridge or the path to the advancement of higher education. So the symbol that you're seeing over the AASHE spelled out is what we visualize as a bridge or a path, as I just explained. And the colors are something that we had a lot of thought with as well. We start with the blue is the foundation of sustainability, sky and water. Purple is the underpinning of the bridge, and purple, of course, is a mix of red and blue, two colors that represent passion and focus, and also a color associated with imagination and inspiration. The last section is green, which has us moving towards the future in the bridge or the path. And really the green is a nod to, of course, the environmental things, but also the green leaf in the original AASHE logo. So we want to keep a little bit of the integrity of our original look in the new logo. If we could go to the next slide, we'll talk about the STARS logo. And the STARS logo has been simplified from what it used to be to what it is now, with the addition of just a program of AASHE underneath. We're no longer spelling out what the STARS acronym stands for. The logo itself is built from the front section of the AASHE logo, so that first blue section, the AASHE logo that we talked about, is actually taken from the AASHE logo and used to create a star shape over the word STARS in the new STARS logo. So this really enforces that STARS is a program of AASHE, that it's part of AASHE, not something separate. So if you go to the next slide, you'll see the old STARS seals there. And if we just move forward, you'll see the new STAR seals laid out below, so you can actually see what the two different types of seals look like next to each other. The STAR seals are consistent with the STARS logo, so you see the new STARS logo inside of the new seal, surrounded by an outer ring containing the full program name and rating level. So they're actually very similar. The older STAR seals and the new STAR seals is a very similar look. They're both circular. They have the STARS logo inside, the spelling out of the program on the outside, and then instead of AASHE at the bottom, since a program of AASHE is part of the STARS logo now, you actually see what the seal represents, either precious metal or you're a charter participant or something like that, is down at the bottom. The STAR seals are exclusively for STARS-rated institutions, active participants, charter participants, and partner organizations. AASHE encourages any institution with access to the seals to use them to publicize their participation in STARS and highlight your institution's achievements and commitment to sustainability in higher education. You can find the seals as well as the brand guidelines in the STARS reporting tool in the My Resources section. And I'll mention that again later. If we move to the next slide, we'll talk about what the brand means for STARS institutions. So you'll notice things are changing. We have an updated website, we have updated logos, and if you want to access the AASHE member logo, if you're from an AASHE member institution, you can simply just go to the AASHE website, click on membership in that toolbar at the top, and then go to the section where you can find the member logo. Also, too, as I mentioned with the STARS seals and the brand guidelines, those are in the My Resources section of the STARS reporting tool. In addition to the blog I mentioned that Paul Rowland had written prior to the launch, Sean Sweeney, our marketing communications manager, he wrote a blog as well all about the launch last Wednesday, May 23rd. And you can find that in the blog section of our website as well, aashe.org/blog. Linked in that blog are two one-page documents. There's a STARS one-pager, and there's also an AASHE one-pager. And those two documents outline in a little bit more detail why we're doing the brand, where you can find the resources you need, and that sort of stuff. So feel free to check those out when you get some time. If we go to the next slide, I really wanted to emphasize here what has changed with the rebranding process and what hasn't. It's important to note that functionality across the board hasn't changed. It's really just the look and the feel that you're seeing, especially if you look at that column on the left. The AASHE and STARS visuals, of course, have changed, as well as our website. But you'll notice a new look and feel to the newsletters, like the AASHE Bulletin, the STARS Update, the AASHE Announcements, our events newsletter. And the AASHE Conference website and visuals will be changing very soon as well. We're actually just working on rolling those out. So make sure you check that out when you get a chance as well. But it's important to note, too, not only what has changed and what's new and improved, but also what hasn't. And that's, again, the functionality of AASHE as an organization has not changed at all. And neither has the content in our resources or the way the STARS reporting tool has functioned or the credits in the STARS technical manual, those are still the same. So there might be a new look to some things, but it's important to note the functionality, again, it still hasn't changed. And neither have the benefits of being an AASHE member or a STARS participant. So we want to make sure that you understand that even though visuals have changed, functionality and really the integrity of our organization has not. And if we go to the next slide, I definitely want to recognize all of you who have been so supportive of AASHE and patient during this process. We all know with any change comes adjustment, and sometimes there are minor bumps in the road. So we do want to let you know that if you are having trouble, or if you want to give us feedback about the new look and feel, we would love to hear from you. So I've listed some contact information below. If folks have questions about the STARS visual, the website, or the reporting tool, they can always contact stars@aashe.org. If there are questions about membership or the membership logo, send an email to resources@aashe.org. And then, of course, if you would like to get in touch with Sean Sweeney, our Marketing and Communications Manager, his email is there below. I'm sorry, there's a little typo on that page. If we go to the next slide, I just want to have a few parting words just to remind people that even though AASHE has a new and improved brand, it's not just about AASHE. It's about you too, our member organizations, our STARS participants. Really, there's a benefit to being an AASHE member, as all of you know, and because AASHE has streamlined its mission with our communications and our visual representation of our mission, it's strengthening the organization for you, our members, and STARS participants as well. So by going to the AASHE website, downloading that member logo, putting it up where you had your former member logo, you're showing your commitment to sustainability. And you can also do the same, of course, with the STARS fields. We do ask that people start using the new visuals on their website, in their promotional materials, and any place that's applicable, really. However, we do recognize that some folks have spent a lot of time and possibly money creating some different visuals of their own. Maybe you've created a plaque with the AASHE logo on it, or it has a STARS seal on it, or something like that. If that's the case, feel free to keep using those materials. We definitely don't want people to waste anything, but we will encourage you to use the new visuals moving forward if you are going to create something else on your own. So with that, we'll move to the next slide, which is just a reminder that if folks would like to ask questions, they can, and I'd be happy to answer those. And at this time, I'm not seeing any questions coming in, but Chris, if you would just check the questions pane in your control panel, I just want to make sure I'm not missing any questions that people might have.
Yeah, I don't see any that have come through yet, Jillian.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, we'll give people a few more minutes, but I just want to remind folks that if, again, you can visit the AASHE and STARS websites to download the AASHE member logo. Just go to the member link in that toolbar at the top, and you'll see a link for the member logo and a toolbar that drops down. And then also, too, the My Resources section of the STARS reporting tool has all those logos available as well. And if we just want to move to the last slide here that has more contact information, if you ever at any time have a question about how to use these different visuals, want some more information, we can definitely help you with that. So you can always email the STARS team, check out our website, and I think it's important to remind folks about that blog again, aashe.org/blog, where we have 2 blog posts up right now, one about sort of the background of the branding process, and then the launch of the brand, the first one written by Paul Rowland and the second by Sean Sweeney. And of course, the STARS update is probably the best way to get the most up-to-date information about what's going on in the STARS program. So if you do want to subscribe to the STARS update, we encourage it and hope that you have subscribed already. And then, of course, we do have a phone number if you'd like to get in touch with anyone personally to talk about your experiences or ask questions about STARS or anything we talk about in these webinars. And just to remind folks one last time, we will be posting this video as well as the PowerPoint presentation on the STARS website. If you just go to stars.aashe.org, you'll see a link in the toolbar at the top for news and events, and from there you'll be able to find all of our webinars, previous ones as well as this webinar. We will be hosting another webinar in June. I believe it's the last Tuesday of June at 2 p.m. Eastern, and we're organizing the details for that. And of course, we'll announce it in the STARS update that should be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So I just want to check in with you, Christy, if there are any questions. I'm not seeing any coming through.
Yeah, we've had a few coming through. You want to go ahead and start with
Yeah,
those?
if you wouldn't mind just reading those off for me, I'd really appreciate it. I'm not sure why they're not showing up on my end.
Okay, the first question is a good one. Where do we get the new logo?
Good question. So if you're looking for the AASHE member logo, as I mentioned, you can go to the AASHE website, AASHE.org, and in that toolbar at the top of the page, it says membership. If you click on that, a little toolbar will pop up to the AASHE member logo that way. For the STARS seals, those are in the My Resources section of the STARS reporting tool. So anyone that should have access to the STARS seals, as I mentioned before, charter participants, current STARS participants, rated institutions, partner organizations, you can log into the STARS website, stars.aashe.org, and click on reporting in the far right-hand side of that toolbar at the top, and then you'll see a place for the My Resources section. The AASHE doesn't share the STARS logo with our STARS participants and our STARS institutions. We really reserve the use for that for AASHE. However, if you would like to use the AASHE logo and you have a special case, please email stars@aashe.org, and we'll get you in touch with the right visuals if it's something that's appropriate. Good question.
Okay. Let's see. Next, a couple of questions that are kind of related. The first one is, along with the visual logo, have you changed the language you use to talk about sustainability, or what AASHE does? Then related to that, can you speak about the process, particularly the process of thinking of sustainability beyond being simply green?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Great, thanks. As I mentioned, and we showed you on that fourth slide about the AASHE mission, that talks about how we talk about sustainability and define it. And the mission has definitely not changed. How we're defining sustainability has not changed. It's really just the look and feel of the organization. And really, AASHE looks at sustainability as being threefold, as some of you I'm sure have heard before, that really it looks at the environment, it looks at equity, and it looks at economics as well. So we want to make sure that we're moving away from green, if you will, in the visual representation of our organization, because we want to make sure that we're not only looking at the environmental aspects of sustainability. We're looking at all of the areas of sustainability. So really that's been one major move away from that AASHE logo before, with just the leaf. It made AASHE look like an environmental organization, moving to a multicolored logo that also has green in sort of the last part of the path. So it looks like we're moving in more of a green direction as we move forward. So I hope that answers the question for folks.
Okay. Another question's come through. Will AASHE be sending a new Klingon seal for STARS institutions?
Oh, gosh, a good question. So I think what this person's referring to is last year during the AASHE 2011 conference, we had a walk of fame where we had some star decals with the old logo up on the walls, and we invited people to take those home, and I believe we even mailed out the leftover ones. And I'm not sure what we're going to be doing at the AASHE 2012 conference just yet, which is coming up in October in Los Angeles. But I have a feeling we'll have something in the works there. I'm not sure if it'll be a decal or not. We're not purposely going to be creating decals and sending them out. However, because this is a physical representation of an institution's involvement in STARS, we definitely encourage people to use older materials like that with the older visuals on them. If they would like to do so, that's fine. Again, we don't want people wasting something that would otherwise be recycled or thrown out. So please feel free to use physical representations that your campus has created or you've gotten from AASHE for the time being if you'd like. Thanks. That was a good question, too.
Yeah. Okay, Jillian, looks like we've got one more.
All right.
If I can get to it here. And it is, what kind of response from outside audiences have you received so far about the new brand?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, it's only been a week, so it's relatively new. But for the most part, from what I've been hearing from our member institutions and partner organizations, people are really impressed with it. Overall, I would say the reaction has been really good. I haven't heard anything from the other staff that there have been issues or anything negative that we've been hearing. But for the most part, I think people are excited that AASHE has a new look. Our organization is about 6 years old now, so it's about time that we went through a branding process and streamlined our communication and represented that communication through our visuals. And also, I'm feeling that people are feeling very positively about the connection now visually between AASHE and STARS. It's a lot stronger than it was before, and I think people are really happy to see that because there was a little bit of a disconnect, and if you weren't really sure if STARS was a program of AASHE before, you should be really sure now. So overall, we've gotten a lot of positive feedback, and we're excited about what we'll hear from folks, and we look forward to seeing the visuals up on people's websites and in their communications, and of course hearing from you how you feel about it and giving us your feedback. So thanks. Good question. Okay, well, if those are all the questions that we have, if you decide after this webinar that you have more questions, feel free to email them to stars@aashe.org. We're happy to take those. And thanks for joining in on this webinar. I know it's a little bit shorter than our regular hour-long webinars, but we'll probably be getting back to those when we pick back up in June. So thanks again, everyone, and look for this video and the PowerPoint presentation on our website in the near future. And thank you, Chris, for facilitating and hosting. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.